Welcome to PrairieFoxSurvival.com. My name's Richard, and today we're going to be making zucchini, and we're going to do canned zucchini bread with it, and we're also going to dehydrate our zucchini for future use. Here in Texas, you can buy those small things out of the store, but we grow them in our garden, and we believe in a real zucchini, and you don't have to mess with all those little things. You know what they say, folks, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, what we're going to do, we'll cut the end off, throw it away, and I'm going to cut them in slices like that. I'm then going to cut them in half, and with the big zucchini, you need to go ahead and take the seeds out because they get very large and very tough. And I do this simply like this, and then I slice that part in half. Okay, and I'm not going to bore you today with cutting and shredding this entire zucchini. So basically, I just use a regular shredder. I even my sides off. Get it down to about where it's ready to take a knuckle or two. And what we're going to have is this. Now with this, I'm going to put in a bowl, going to finish shredding all this up. And one thing you do want to remember, and we will show you this process once we get it all finished, is zucchini, especially if you're dehydrating, is very wet. And what you're going to want to do is we put ours in a strainer and mash all the water out we can. And then we put it on our dehydrator. And let me take a break here for a minute, and I'll show you what it looks like once we get this in our dehydrator. As you can see, one zucchini makes a very large amount when shredded. Now we'll get a lot of bread and whatever we decide to do with it out of it. So after we have the shredding process over, I just use a sifter. And I just start knuckling it out. And then I lay a paper towel on it and soak up any water moisture I get on the top. You can see it's plenty wet, and so is the bottom. And we're going to continue this process till we get it all done, and we'll be back with you. We've now loaded our dehydrator, and this is what it looks like. You want to keep it thin, but you can put in enough that it will stick together. It's not like hamburger where it can't be touchy. And we're going to load up our dehydrator and start our second one. And then we're going to get into working on our canned bread. And we'll be back with you as soon as we get started here and ready to go. Our dehydrator finished with the zucchini. And as you can see, it just lifts right up. And we'll put it in a bowl here. And after we get it all in, then we're going to take a sealer bag and put it in through our sealer, suck all the air out of it, and it'll last for a number of years. Alright, we went ahead and mixed the initial ingredients in order to save some time. You can see how thick it gets. Now we made a double recipe, and the last thing you want to add is your zucchini and your nuts. And what we're going to do is mix this up, and we're going to come back and show you what we're doing with the jars and how we're going to can zucchini bread. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have this mixed up now, ready to go. It's awful thick. And what we do now is we use the Baker's Joy and we just spray the inside of our jars and put a good coat on it. It just keeps it from sticking. And we like to wipe our rims twice on these. We wipe it after we spray the Baker's Joy, and again right before we put our lids on to seal it. You want to, and this is messy, especially for me, you want to fill, this one we're doing a quart. You want to fill your jars about halfway full. You get them right there. We're going to go ahead and just come back to you because we have a number of jars to fill. There's no need to just be wasting time watching us fill jars. So we'll be back in a moment. So out of a doubled recipe, we ended up with 2 quart jars and 5 pints. Now even with the wide mouth on your quart jars, they are a little bit harder to get out. They don't come up just straight like the pint jars do, but they come out fairly simple. Set your oven at 350 degrees, and what we're going to do is put these in there and bake them. And when we come back, we'll show you there's no canning to it in a pressure canner, of course. We'll put our rings on and we'll have bread. We have them in the oven on our rack, and we're going to bake the pints for about 35 minutes. You want to check it with a toothpick. Now the quarts can take 10 to 15 minutes longer. You just have to watch it and see how your oven handles it. Alright, we've taken them out of the oven, and it did take 35 minutes on our pints. We're leaving the quarts in just a little bit longer. On these, I'm very good at filling them just a little over half, and sometimes they rise higher. But there is a method to that madness. Just while your wife's futzing at you, you can eat it. Delicious. And we have wiped our rings, I should say, jars, real good to make sure there's nothing on the outside. Now we're going to take our hot lids out of the boiling water. Okay, let me set this back on the stove. here's some bread we canned earlier this year. I don't know if you can see this, but it'll just go back and forth in there. Okay. We're opening this up. Ooh, look at that. And just moist as it can be. Can you see that? Looks very good inside. Now this will last up to a year, we know. Now how much past a year, we don't know at this point. So until next time at prairiefoxsurvival.com, we look forward to seeing you.